Welcome to the Inside Silverstone podcast, a business podcast covering all things tech, engineering, innovation and motorsport. Hosted by me, Chris Broome.
And me, Fiona Pawley. This is a series of unscripted conversations with leading business owners and high-tech talent, talking about their experiences within the Silverstone and motorsport business communities.
Welcome to the next episode of Inside Silverstone. My name is Chris Broome and I am your wonderful host. Today I am delighted to welcome back to the show an old friend, an old stable, somebody who's been on the show several times, the wonderful Pim van Baarsen, who is the CEO of the Silverstone Technology Cluster. Pim, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much, Chris. Always a pleasure to be here. I enjoy doing these, so thanks for having me back.
No, we're good. So today, Pim, we are now coming to the end of September 2023, just to give it a date stamp for those that are listening. And I thought it would be a fantastic moment to provide everybody with an update with what's going on with the STC, the up and coming sort of innovation and growth conference that's happening in November. And really just talk through a number of other things that are going on internally. So what I thought would be a useful start, if okay, please, sir, is just to remind everybody, what is the Silverstone Technology Cluster? What do you guys do? Just in case there are people listening to the show who haven't heard of you before.
Yes, super. Thank you. So Silverstone Technology Cluster, we are a not-for-profit cluster support organization. So we exist to support the advanced engineering, electronics and software businesses in the wider Silverstone area. So anywhere within roughly an hour's driving time of Silverstone. That area contains roughly 4,500 businesses involved in advanced engineering, electronics and software. So we host a lot of events. We provide them with a lot of information. We encourage collaboration. We help them find funding. And we generally just provide an awful lot of business support, networking and collaboration opportunities for all those businesses.
Nice. And so how long's the STC been running for?
We started on the 1st of January 2017. So we're in our 6th year now, I believe.
Congratulations. And so you're based and part of Silverstone Park, just for those that aren't aware?
Yeah, so Silverstone Park is obviously the epicenter of the Silverstone Technology Cluster, because obviously we spread out across the region. And yeah, we have a virtual office there. Minimizing our carbon footprint, and gives me the opportunity to work from home, which is quite nice as well.
And so you're in the innovation centre today, as am I. And so you're upstairs, I'm down. You're in one of the meeting rooms where I can see, but behind you there's a piece of artwork with you.
This handsome fella.
Well, that's me with a little bit more hair than I currently have, and then you're obviously right in the middle at the top, handsome chap, looking good. Membership numbers at the moment with the STCs, 150 something.
Yeah, we're on 158 at the moment, and we've got a waiting list for service providers as well. So look us our number to swell, and pleased to say that we've got a number of new member conversations coming up. So that's all quite encouraging. So now the numbers are continuing to grow. It's really good.
And so for those that are perhaps interested in joining, what type of businesses and industries are actually part of the STC membership? Is it just businesses involved in technology? You've mentioned service providers. Who could be becoming a member, and why would they consider that?
Well, we're focused on advanced engineering, electronics and software, but that's across a huge array of sectors. So obviously motorsport, but also automotive, also aerospace, space, defense, fast-moving consumer goods, medical, marine, literally, any sector that you can think of. We've had people join, such as the Aerospace Research Association, who obviously provide a lot of aerospace testing facilities and things. But also we've seen people like Second Mind and Beyond Math join, and they specialized in AI, in engineering AI technologies. Which is quite exciting, obviously. And then, of course, there's, if you will, traditional companies like D Limited, who basically do a lot of motorsport projects, but also get involved in events, vehicles, and all of that sort of stuff. So it's a really broad mix, and then obviously there's service providers to the industry as well. So we focus on the technology companies, but obviously the service providers provide a hugely valuable service to the ecosystem. And so they are part of the membership as well. But we do employ a 3-to-1 ratio. So for every 3 tech companies, we'll have 1 service provider. Hence, there is a bit of a waiting list at the moment.
And certainly the service provider, for those that aren't aware of these, law firm, accountancy practice, obviously, for financial planning business like Longhurst, for example.
Correct. Yeah.
Fine.
And people that can provide professional services that aid in the development of those companies.
Very good. Okay, cool. And so the Innovation and Growth Conference, what is it? Where is it? When is it?
So the Innovation and Growth Conference is our biggest event of the year. So we're looking to have around about 200 people there. It's in Milton Keynes in the Stables, wonderful venue, which we were in for the first time last year, which was fantastic. It's on November the 21st. It's an all-day conference. We've got some fantastic speakers lined up. It's always a hugely thought-provoking day to get people interested in what's happening in the area and what's going on. So yeah, it should be a fantastic day, and I would encourage people to join us there.
And who's going to be talking and speaking?
Right. So just to give you a sample, I mean, we're still finalizing some of that, but we've got the managing director of the Oxford to Cambridge partnership there to explain everything that's happening in the Oxford to Cambridge arc and what's going on there. We have Dr. Maria Nelson, who is the head of sustainability at the Aerospace Technology Institute, talking about the future direction of the aerospace industry, which should be fascinating. We've also got a keynote address by one of our member companies. He's a strategic specialist, and he is really going to open people's eyes on business strategy and how people run their business. We've got the founder of a company called Rux Energy talking about hydrogen technology and the advances that they're making in that. We've more than likely will have a fascinating presentation by Silverstone Circuits. We've got another expert talking about how companies can recruit the right people that they need for their business and things like that. So it's a very wide-ranging day with a huge amount of areas of interest. So there's definitely something there for everybody, and we'll hopefully set everybody up with some really precious information about the future, where things are headed, and also what opportunities lie alongside that.
And the Oxford to Cambridge arc, again, for those that aren't aware, what is that? That's an interesting term and phrase. So, what is it?
Yeah, so people may have heard of it in the past, but it's essentially it's the area sort of between Oxford and Cambridge. There's obviously they're 2 very well-known spots, especially because of the universities, and it's almost like a very powerful innovation corridor. So there is a little bit of a political movement to make that area bigger, better, brighter. We're obviously in the middle of that particular area. So not only is it looking at sort of infrastructure and living arrangements and all that sort of stuff, but it's also looking to promote the business ecosystem, which obviously we play a role in, and we're supporting them with. So yeah, it'll be a wonderful opportunity to find out what the future plans are, the investment portfolio they recently launched, and again the opportunities that exist for business both in the UK as well as internationally.
And presumably the idea will be the different business communities that run along the arc, which will include the Silverstone Park region, will be for those businesses to talk to each other, to collaborate, to partner up locally as well as internationally.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's something that we've been working on as well, in terms of making sure that we collaborate with our friends at, for instance, Cambridge Wireless or Cambridge Green Tech or Oxford Innovations and a number of the other organizations that are in the area. And we're always keen to explore mutual opportunities, to bring their members and their companies in touch with our members and our companies to look at joint opportunities and opportunities for collaboration.
Fine. So actually, as a side note, when we've done recording, Pim, I think we need to make some introductions for them into the podcast so that we can get them on as guests.
Sure.
Let's start interviewing the people like yourself that are running these communities, so that we can sort of start cross-fertilizing messaging, etc. Yeah. So good idea. UK Space Agency sounds exciting. Tell everybody about it.
Yeah, so we have a good relationship with the guys at the US Space Agency. The UK Space Agency even. Sorry. we're not quite dealing with NASA yet. That will come later, I hope. No, but we work together with them quite well. So we've done a number of events with them where, I mean, again, we're looking to help companies get into the space supply chain. There's a lot of opportunities within the UK space industry for companies to get involved. So we're aiding with that. And also at last year's conference, we launched a feasibility study to look at additive manufacturing within space and all that sort of stuff. We're actively working with the UK Space Agency to further that as well. That's a really powerful ongoing relationship aimed at basically bringing companies that are part of the space supply chain closer to companies that are in our membership, with the hope of making sure that we provide the solutions that the various space companies are looking for.
Which sounds very, very exciting for STC members to get part of, right?
Yeah, it is quite exciting. It's also quite fun because one of the meetings that we started talking about harpooning space junk, and then bringing it in, which was quite a novel conversation. So it's always fun to be part of that sort of stuff.
Harpooning space junk.
Yep.
There's got to be a podcast interview in that as well. Right. What about military? So US military?
Yeah, so we've over the past year we've been working with US DEFCOM, which is effectively the technology recruitment arm of the US Army. So then I was on the lookout for new technologies. I've actually just come off the phone with a conversation with one of the main guys there. And really what we're looking to do, so they are on the lookout for novel technologies. They are on the lookout for new things that can help them make things more efficient, lighter, better, faster, the same thing that everybody is after. And we're setting up various mechanisms to allow our members to engage with them and look for opportunities where we can get our member companies in front of them and pitch for them. And I know they're actively engaged with a number of our members. Obviously can't discuss any of it, but I know they're actively working with a number of them. And yeah, we're always looking to develop that further. On the back of the relationship with US DEFCOM, we've also started a relationship with both the US Navy as well as the Royal UK Navy, to also look at some of the challenges they're having and bringing some of our member companies in touch with them as well, to see how we can meet them. So that's a very exciting development and relationship we're building there.
Fantastic. And talk to us about the sort of evolution of the special interest groups in the STC. So, what is a special interest group? And then also, what are the plans moving forward?
Yeah, so the special interest group that we have is really focused around bringing people together, like-minded business leaders that work in similar areas and similar technologies, to really sort of get them aware about, the latest technology, funding opportunities, collaborative projects, all of these sort of things. And they've been going really well. Obviously, we've organized a lot of events to bring people together physically. I think in future we'll also look at some digital ways to get some of the information across, maybe podcasts, maybe interviews, something along those lines to make sure that people keep up to date and keep informed. But we will continue with the networking events as well, of course. So the 4 groups that we've had for a while now: future mobility, design simulation, maturity, digital and advanced manufacturing, wearable technologies, are all going very strong. And we're in the process of setting up a group on AI and machine learning technologies as well. So we're excited about that. And let's see where we can go with that.
Yeah, that'll be great. And what about the coffee club? I know that's something that was recently launched with a couple of members. Yes,
so we always encourage our members to get involved and to do things for their fellow members. So we've been working with NS85 and Silverstone Composites to set up just a really informal coffee club where the focus is just to get people together, have a bit of a friendly chat, nothing to do with sales, but just, get to know who's there in the cluster with you, who you might be able to collaborate with. But, there's nothing wrong with having a little bit of a break in the workday and having a cup of coffee with like-minded individuals. And that's the aim of it. Nothing too complicated.
Yeah. I mean, the feedback from Marcus has already been really positive. So he's saying that there's been some fantastic conversations that have taken place, and inevitably what happens there is, work, collaboration, partnership possibilities come out of it, from a sort of relaxed coffee, no selling environment. Obviously comes some positive results. So yeah, onwards and upwards to those guys. What else, Pim? What else is going on? We're sort of 10 minutes into the interview. There's a couple of fun sort of questions I'm going to ask at the end. I appreciate this is a very quick whistle-stop tour just to give everyone an update on the STC and certainly the conference. But anything else to sort of cover off that I haven't asked you?
Yeah, so this year we've been a bit on a bit of a growth plan, if you will. So obviously we're in our 6th year now. So the first 5 years have been really good, really positive. We've grown throughout, but we definitely discovered the need for more of a systematic approach and a more professional approach. So we're putting in things. So I mean, obviously at the start of the year we launched a new website, but we're also putting in place a new CRM system. We're looking a lot of it on our internal systems as well, and just making sure that we're more efficient and better prepared to meet our members' needs. But also what we've done is we're looking at a new strand that we're developing. So obviously we have promotion, support, thought leadership, the 3 main things that we do, if you will. We are actually looking at adding a 4th one to that, which is going to be focused around skills. So we've been looking at a particular offering where, we can essentially bring academia and education providers closer to industry from both sides. So we've worked with our industry advisory group in identifying the needs for industry and what they would ideally like to see. We've done a similar meeting with a number of academia and education providers who also sort of identify their needs and what they would like to see and what would be good. And there's quite a bit of overlap there that we are now looking into setting that up as something that we can provide for them, just to make sure that a lot of the excellent research that is being done in the various universities and the various educational establishments is finding industry partners. But also there's an awful lot of students out there that, are looking for placements, and some of the STC companies might not be particularly well known, but have absolutely fantastic projects. So we're looking to help them with that as well. So there's a lot of opportunity for us to act as a really good bridge between them, and that's something that we're actively looking into and hopefully launch in the not too distant future. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes while we're still doing the day job in terms of delivering great events and growing the membership. So yeah, it's all kicking off. It's good. It's fun.
Onwards and upwards, really, really exciting. And we'll make sure in the show notes we've got various links to STC website and otherwise. So folk listening to this, if they're interested in becoming a member, they can do that. They can obviously get in contact. They can also reach out to you directly. They can also reach out to me. So if you want to speak to an actual active member, not only of the Silverstone Technology Cluster, but also Silverstone Park as a resident, then I'm here available. So ask and I will tell you the truth and tell you everything that's going on here, including Macmillan coffee mornings, which we've literally just had with a plate of cakes, which were very, very tasty. Cars, cakes everywhere. Cars. So we're closing off. Fiona and I are closing off our sort of latest round of interviews by asking people about their cars. So first car. So what was your first car?
So the first car that I had was actually the same age I was, 1976 Mini Clubman.
Really?
Yeah, one of the tiny ones. Really enjoyed it, light blue, really great fun to drive. Ended up crashing that, which wasn't very good at all, and made me quite sad. But yeah, that was my first little car. Really good fun.
And tell everyone about Little Zeus.
Yeah, so the first car that I actually bought from new, because obviously I didn't buy the Mini from new, was a Citroen C2 GT. So very, very small pocket rocket. Bought that in 2004 and held on to that for about 19 years or so, just because I couldn't bear getting rid of it. Really good fun. Basically like a little go-kart on wheels. Far too much power for the size that it is and the weight that it is. So yeah, really enjoyed that and hung on to that for a long time just because it was so much fun.
Have you still got it?
No, I actually very recently got rid of that.
I didn't know that.
Well, a friend of mine of some wheels, so I could help her out with that, and I was kind of umming and ahhing on getting rid of it anyway, because there've been various periods where I didn't have that an exciting normal car, so then taking Little Zeus out is a lot of fun. But then now the car that I have now is actually quite good fun in itself, so less of a need for Little Zeus, I suppose.
And what about Dream?
My garage doing nothing, and I felt sad for it.
Sure. But it's a good-looking car. I like Little Zeus when you used to turn up in Little Zeus.
Yeah. It's a fun little thing for sure.
Dream car.
Well, I mean, obviously, the only correct answer to that is the 1993 McLaren F1, right? Which is pretty much the ultimate car that's ever built. I mean, I shan't imagine that I'll be in an opportunity to lay my hands on one of those anytime soon. But if I had to pick the car, that is the car.
Very nice. Yeah, good looking car. And I think that's the first one we've had so far with this series. 93 McLaren F1. Very good. Very good. Right. Pim van Baarsen, CEO of the STC. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Appreciate this was a fairly quick whistle-stop tour, but fantastic update on the Innovation Growth Conference, which again is on what date?
November the 21st. The stables in Milton Keynes.
So November the 21st. Yeah, fine. We'll leave a link. We'll leave a link in the show notes for people to obviously buy tickets. STC members get a complimentary ticket, but if you're not an STC member, you can still turn up, meet everybody, and sort of participate, which is fantastic. Pim, thank you for coming on the show, mate. I will no doubt see you again very soon, sir.
Super stuff. Thank you very much for helping me, Chris. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and please give us a 5-star review.
The Inside Silverstone podcast is produced by the team at Longhurst. To listen to more episodes, please visit insidesilverstone.co.uk. Please note neither Fiona or Chris work for Silverstone Park, Silverstone Technology Cluster, or Silverstone Circuit.